Hello, and welcome to Mastermind the Flat with me, John Humphrey. With me, Chris Heffernan.
Me, Tom Crowther.
And me, Amy Isles.
That wasn't forced at all.
It was completely improvised.
So, as you might have guessed, this episode is a quiz special. We're going to start with our usual thing of getting to know us by each having some questions on a specialist subject, and then we'll move on to some more general discussion around some fun facts. So, first up is Tom. So, Tom, what is your specialist subject?
World politics.
World politics. Okay, so how this is going to work is each of us will get 15 questions on our chosen topic, and we'll see who gets the most right. Okay, are you ready, Tom?
Yeah.
By the way, Amy's had a glass of wine. Right then, Tom, are you ready? World politics.
I'm ready.
Question number 1. Who was in office as President of the US when the decision was taken to declare war on Germany?
Truman.
No. Woodrow Wilson. Where would you find the International Criminal Court?
The Hague.
Correct. Which is the newest country?
South Sudan.
Correct. Who, at the age of 43, became the world's first female president and the youngest head of state in Latin America in the 1970s?
Argentina, I can't remember. No, I don't know.
Isabel Perón. Which London mayor declared war on the pigeons in Trafalgar Square in 2000?
Livingston.
Correct. The ETA was an armed separatist group formerly categorised as a terrorist organisation by the UK who fought for the freedom of which region?
Basque.
Correct. For what was Nancy Astor famous?
No idea.
First female MP. Which leader's statue was pulled down in Red Square in 1991?
Lenin.
Correct. In which year did India gain independence from the UK?
47.
Correct. Where are the IMF's headquarters?
Switzerland.
No, Washington DC.
Oh, damn it.
Who is the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the longest serving Prime Minister in the country's history?
No idea.
Okay, I'm going to apologise for my pronunciation of this. Shakir Hasina. Who was the only US President to have resigned from office?
I don't know.
Richard Nixon.
Oh, God. No, I didn't know that. Oh, no.
Following 18 months of petitioning, led by Gina Martin, in January 2019, the House of Lords approved of a new legislation to make what a crime in England and Wales?
I don't know.
Have a guess.
Upskirting?
Correct.
Okay.
Who is the EU President?
Juncker. Jean-Claude
Correct.
Juncker.
And your final question, which leader of the Russian Revolution became first Soviet Commissar for Foreign Affairs but was expelled from the Communist Party in 1927?
Trotsky.
Correct. And there we go. There's your 15 questions on world politics over, Tom. You can now relax.
I can relax. I
That was proper tense.
did a little bit better than I was expecting, if I'm honest.
You were good.
Oh.
Very good. Scores will be revealed at the end of the episode.
Some questions for Amy. Amy, what is your specialist subject?
My specialist subject today is British history.
Oh, is it?
Oh dear, have you written the wrong questions?
I did it on French history.
Oh dear.
This could be entertaining.
Je ne comprends pas. Je suis anglais.
That is actually the answer to question 4, surprisingly enough. No, British history. Question number 1. What was the occupation of William Shakespeare's father?
Carpenter.
Incorrect.
Oh damn it.
Glover.
Oh dear. Good start.
Which monarch was defeated by Oliver Cromwell in the English Civil War?
Charles I.
Correct. What proportion of the population of the United Kingdom was killed in the Black Death?
30%.
I'll give it. It's a third. Which famous document eventually led to the formation of the English Parliament?
The Magna Carta.
Correct. Which tribal leader fought against the Roman conquest in Britain?
Boadicea or Boudica, depending on how you pronounce it.
Correct. Which British monarch was the first given the title Emperor or Empress of India?
Queen Victoria.
Correct. What were the names of the princes in the tower?
Oh, I know this. Edward and Richard.
Correct. Against which country did England fight in the 100 Years' War?
France.
Correct. In which year did the Spanish Armada attack England?
1588.
Correct.
Yes.
Who built the Tower of London?
Oh, nearly saw. William the Conqueror. No,
Correct.
oh.
Which country gained independence from Britain in the 18th century?
America.
True. What is the name of the period that saw seminal works from the likes of Adam Smith and David Hume?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What is the name of the period that saw the seminal works of the likes of...
the Enlightenment.
Correct. Which century was Scotland united with England and Wales?
Century. 18th.
Correct.
Oh.
How many monarchs are there between Victoria and Elizabeth II?
Including Elizabeth.
Not including either of them.
4.
Correct. Which Archbishop of Canterbury was murdered in the cathedral itself?
No idea. Pass.
Thomas Becket.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Had his head chopped straight down the middle,
Yeah, he did.
as the legend goes.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm pretty chuffed with that.
That is the end of your questions. Yeah, I think you got... I've got to say, the year that the Spanish Armada attacked...
That is like my specialism. I did write an essay on that over Christmas.
1588.
Can I just not do my question?
It's really bad, but I probably got half that knowledge from Horrible Histories. I just soaked that TV programme up like a sponge.
I should have done all my questions based off that.
I should have just stuck to pure Downton Abbey because
I
I'm just going to embarrass
history.
myself now.
I didn't get the Shakespeare question though.
You didn't get the
Thanks
Shakespeare
for putting
question?
it in though.
That's alright.
But you did very well, Amy. That was
Thank you
very
very
impressive.
much. So, Christopher Heffernan, what is your specialist subject?
Regrettably, the very wide British TV.
Well, considering how much you watch, good luck. Are you ready?
No.
Will you ever be ready?
No.
Tough luck.
Prefer asking the questions, not answering them.
Well, here we go. But you claim to never be wrong, so here we go. It's coming back to bite you now, isn't it? Right.
I won't be wrong, I'll just be mistaken.
Oh, that is such a Chris. Can we get that on a t-shirt for you? I won't be wrong, I'll just be mistaken. Right, ready?
No.
Tough. Question 1. In Doctor Who, what planet did the Daleks come from?
Skaro.
Yes. Question 2. What is the name of the Scarecrow in Bob the Builder?
Oh, I was watching Bob the Builder the other day.
No way.
I genuinely was. I genuinely was watching it. And I haven't got a clue. I can't remember. Pass.
Spud.
Of course it is.
To which famous historical figure did the antique mahogany desk and chair in the music room of Downton Abbey once belong?
Oh my blooming word.
You
Read all
said
the
you knew
books.
everything about Downton Abbey.
Could you repeat the question, please?
To which famous historical figure did the antique mahogany desk and chair in the music room of Downton Abbey once belong?
Lord Carnarvon?
No, it was Napoleon.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Which TV soap, other than EastEnders, did Ross Kemp star in?
Hollyoaks.
No, Emmerdale. Who wrote the autobiographical books on which Call the Midwife is based?
Jenny Worth.
Yes! What is the real name of the narrator of Thomas the Tank Engine and Beatles drummer Ringo Starr?
Ringo Starr. No idea. Pass.
Richard Starkey. What is the name of the butler of Lady Penelope in Thunderbirds?
Oh, Parker.
Yes. Which seaside town was the TV show Fawlty Towers set?
Oh, Torquay.
Yes. What was the name of the dog trick act that won Britain's Got Talent in 2012?
Oh, that was the... I can't remember the second one. I'm going to go with Pudsey and Ashley. But
Yeah, that's
Was
right.
it?
That's
Oh.
correct.
Boom.
What year did Casualty begin airing?
Oh gosh.
I'll give you like 5 years either side because that's tricky.
1988.
I'll give you that. 1986. How many people have won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
7.
5. I'll give you 2 years either side for this one. In what year was the Royal Christmas Speech first televised?
1958.
1957. I'll give you that. 2 years either side. Which country uses the I'm a Celebrity set immediately after the British team to film their own version of the series?
Germany.
Yeah. David Bowie made a cameo appearance in which Ricky Gervais TV show?
Oh, extras.
Yes. What is the name of the family who have occupied Highclere Castle, the location of much of the filming for Downton Abbey, since 1679?
The Carnarvons.
Yes. That is your 15 questions. Sorry, Chris. I just went for general pub quiz teething questions.
Oh, thank goodness that is over. I think we warmed up.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I think it was a harder start.
It was a
than
tough
was at the
start,
finish.
and then we got round that final bend, and the home straight was there.
Boom, boom, boom. Mind the flat. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so as we said earlier, the results of our quickfire questions will be revealed at the end. But for the time being, we're now going to move on to some true or false questions, where hopefully we're going to work in teams with a bit more discussion of some of these facts. So I'm going to start with some questions on science for Tom and Amy. Okay.
I'm really bad at science. I
So-
stopped at GCSE, Tom. So
I
good
watch
luck.
a lot of YouTube on it. I don't know whether that means anything.
That video, the history of everything, it might come in handy. It's more
Quite famously history, isn't it? The history of everything.
Ah. Good luck.
So, question number 1 for you two. In humans, the right lung is heavier than the left lung. True or false?
Well, the left lung has to leave space for the heart, so the
Yeah.
right lung. True.
It would make sense.
Correct.
Yes!
But
Boom.
also, the right lung has to make room for the liver.
Oh.
Oh, so that was a fluke then, wasn't it,
The-
really?
Yeah.
The left lung is longer,
Yeah.
but it's thinner because, as you say, because of the heart. But the right lung is heavier.
Interesting.
There we go.
A good old traditional true or false question. Toenails grow
Oh,
faster
here we go.
than fingernails.
Oh, I don't know.
True or false?
Do you know the answer? I mean, it can't be...
I
Oh, I guess false could encapsulate that they grow at the same pace.
I think it's false.
See, I feel like
I feel
fingernails grow faster than toenails.
like I agree. Yeah.
I mean, at least I cut my fingernails more frequently, but I guess they're on show more,
This
so
is
it's probably
true.
just that I don't care.
And also, like, you stub your toes more, probably.
Your toes are bigger as well,
This is true.
and so
They have to
relatively.
grow.
So
Why?
we're going to go with what was the phrasing
So-
of the question?
Toenails grow faster than
We're
fingernails.
going to go with false.
But yeah.
False.
You are right.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Fingernails grow 2 to 3 times faster
Wow.
Wow.
than toenails.
So it's not
It's
being.
speedy.
It's not me being a lazy slob then,
No.
just ignoring the things that no one else can see.
So if you actually looked at it, I think your fingernails, like to grow back fully, would take about like 2 to 3 months,
Uh-huh.
and toenails would take a whole year.
Wait, so
Wow.
if you took them off?
I think that's
Oh,
what they're
that's
saying.
no.
Footballers lose their toenails quite well,
Oh.
not regularly though, but it happens, doesn't it?
Well, people that often do their first like long distance runs as well, like half
Yeah.
marathons and marathons, often lose. Like they go colours and fall off.
Oh,
Pleasant conversation,
Yummy.
but unfortunately, Chris, it's your fault, so you can't.
right,
you can't
swiftly
complain.
moving on. Number 3. The Arctic is colder than the Antarctic.
No, surely not.
Okay, so the Arctic has. So when we talk of the polar vortex, I'm pretty
Uh-huh.
sure. So the thing that splits off and causes cold snaps around this time of year, that comes from the Arctic.
Okay.
And there's no land mass there as well, and I'd expect there'd be more heat where there's land mass as a consequence of geothermal heating. What do you think?
This is so embarrassing. The only thing I'm thinking is which one's north and which one's south.
The one north is up, south is down.
No, I know that, but I always forget.
The
which
Arctic
way
is in the north, and the Antarctic is in the south.
round. So
Oh right,
embarrassing.
okay.
I never
Would you?
know which one's
Do you
which.
have any strong opposition to my suggestion that it would be the Arctic that is the coldest?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was the
we'll go with your
So
answer,
the
Tom.
Arctic is colder than the Antarctic.
true?
Yeah, the Arctic's the northern one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
North is always cold.
False.
Oh dear.
Ah.
Sorry,
Tom's
Tom.
logic actually needed to be the other way round. So because the
Oh.
Antarctic has a landmass, that gets colder, so the oceans stay warmer for longer because they hold more heat, and so the Arctic doesn't get as cold because of that in the winter. And secondly, the Antarctic is higher, and so higher places get colder.
Oh, of course.
Ah.
So if you wanted a sort of comparison in summer, the North Pole is about 0 degrees, whereas the South Pole is minus 28.2 degrees
Wow.
Celsius.
You know, there's more snowfall in New York in a year by a substantial amount than there is in the Antarctic
Wow.
because
It's crazy.
there's no precipitation.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
there's
of course.
if it kept snowing, because it's always below freezing. If it
Yeah.
kept snowing, it would always
Yeah.
it would just keep building up. We'd have a pillar out in the atmosphere,
Yeah.
and so there's actually more snowfall in New York than there is in the Antarctic.
You should have been writing these questions.
There we go.
Number 4. You can never sneeze with your eyes open.
Oh, this is another old wives' turn, isn't it?
I mean, if you prop them open, are we allowing propping? Because if we cut the eyelids off, then I'm going to go with you can.
I would agree with you.
I reckon.
So your answer is?
Oh, I don't know. I reckon you can. I reckon it's just an urban myth.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think you're right.
Urban myth?
Yeah, urban myth.
False.
Correct.
Yeah.
So apparently eyes automatically close when you sneeze because of one of your body's involuntary reflexes.
Mhm.
But if you just forced your eyes open, and I think if you really focused, you could just about manage it. And it is not truthful for anyone that does still believe this, that if you sneeze with your eyes open, your eyeballs will pop out. That isn't actually true.
I mean, no one's ever told me that before, but that's terrifying if true.
Oh, just pop them back in. Sorry guys, my bad.
So I think I used to have a toy when I was a kid that if you squeezed it, its eyes popped out.
All those glasses, you know.
So if
the
I
eyes just-
squeeze you, do you reckon your eyes would pop out?
I think if you put me under extreme squeeziness. Okay, right. Another question for you. Sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. Can I have a clap for saying that word?
It was the most sarcastic, half-hearted clap ever.
Is the scientific name for brain freeze.
I think that might be true. Also,
I mean,
why
I've
would Chris write that down if it wasn't true?
Because it could be from another. It could be a medical term for another thing,
Oh, this is
and I think that could be. Can we hear it again?
Yeah, you can.
Yay!
Sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia.
I think it is because
It's got
neuralgia
Yeah.
and it's got palate. I think it is.
I'm going to reluctantly say true.
She went with Amy. And it's correct.
Yeah.
That is the scientific name for brain freeze. I think I will keep calling it brain freeze, as opposed to having to say, "Oh no, I've got sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia again."
Wow,
Oh
you've probably nailed it though. Do you reckon you can say it without the book closed? Try it without the book.
no, because I have to write it down phonetically.
Chris
Chris
cheated.
just showed us the book and it had all the
Did you see the answers?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Didn't really think that one through, did
I
you?
didn't know. Right, this is a brilliant one. I love this question.
And that's all we've got time for. So
Join us next week.
There are more fake flamingos than real ones.
I'm pretty
Fake
sure I've heard this before.
flamingos.
I think this is true.
What a fake
As in the ones that
flamingos.
Americans have outside on their porches.
Oh!
I'm pretty sure this is true.
I
I've
wouldn't
heard
be
this before.
surprised. Yeah, well, I'm happy to go with you on that one.
True.
Correct. There's about 2 million flamingos in the wild, but the fake ones have been produced en masse since 1957. So you can think they're well into the millions. And also, as the person that wrote this fact helpfully pointed out, real flamingos die, plastic ones don't. So purely on that basis, there's going to be more of them.
It seems almost blaringly obvious that.
And the final question for you two is: an octopus has 3 hearts.
Ooh, be cool if it did.
I think it has multiple, but I don't think it's 3.
I agree. I think it's probably like 2.
I think it might be 2.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of a reason why they'd need a redundancy of hearts.
Yeah.
Or, I guess it's not a redundancy, it's probably a... Like, because it's so large
Yeah.
that it requires...
So many tentacles.
I mean, and,
It's got 8
Just-
hearts because they have 1 for each tentacle.
if we're doing a pure guess, then statistically we'd be more likely to get it right if we said false, because there are more numbers that aren't 3 than are 3.
Okay, Tom.
Do you know what I mean, right? It could be
I
1,
do know what
2, 4, 5, and it could go... So I think
Could be 7 million.
false is statistically the safe answer.
I would agree with you.
False.
Statistics have failed you.
Oh.
It's true.
No, statistics
Yeah,
haven't... Sorry,
three
can I just point out,
hearts.
statistics haven't failed us.
Did
Because
you
I
get,
said the
Statistics
likelihood
never
is...
fail me.
Not that it's absolutely certain that.
did you get the answer correct?
That doesn't make a
No.
difference.
Okay.
Probability isn't results-based, it's probabilistic.
So they have 1 heart which circulates blood around the body, and then they have 2 hearts that pump it through each of the 2 gills. So each gill has its own heart, and then 1 for the rest of it.
Oh.
So there you go. 3 hearts of the octopus,
Fascinating.
the greatest lover of the ocean.
The greatest lover of the ocean.
Because it has 3 hearts.
Oh.
You associate the heart with
Oh.
I
love.
thought I thought something properly weird then with all the tentacles.
Oh, I was just
Thank you,
thinking
Tom.
it went down round having quite a good time, but
Right then. There we go. That's science complete.
yay!
Okay, so I'm going to be doing true or false questions on popular culture. Is that correct?
Exciting. I hope so, because you've written the questions.
Well, that's not true or false, is it?
Oh,
That's the first question.
true.
Hey!
Yay!
We'll get the hang of this at some point, Chris.
Right. Are we ready?
Yes.
The name Lego has no meaning.
That's false, because I know what it means, and it means play well in Danish. And I know this because I watched a documentary by James May, and he made a house out of Lego.
What she said.
So, thus, it is false.
False. Lego, or Leggot, means play well in Danish.
Well
Thank you.
done, Amy.
It wasn't quite as impressive as it could have been because she didn't get the actual translation.
Oh,
The Leggot bit.
I
but
got one letter out.
Someone's just feeling a bit bitter, Amy.
Oh, that was probably
He
the
thought-
most
he thought you
accurate
had-
answer we've had.
I think he thought he had us there.
I think
I
you did.
didn't think I thought you had us. Nope.
Words.
Yes. Speaking. Right. The hula dance was originally a form of religious observation.
Please say this is true. That would be hilarious.
Well, I think it's just got... Cause it's from Hawaii, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because everything
Yeah.
they do in Hawaii is religious.
No, but I was just thinking... It feels like you could do it as a ceremonial dance.
Yeah. 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 Not
Yeah.
yeah. To celebrate something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Should we go for true?
Yeah.
True.
Correct.
Yeah.
So many hula dances are considered a kind of honouring of the gods, and so it's performed as a kind of ritual to say thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I'm just going to do one to say thanks to the gods for letting us get that right.
Yeah.
Chris, for the listeners. Oh, and now Amy, they're hulaing.
Fun.
We'll have to film one podcast soon. So we do so many fun actions that the listeners just don't get to see.
Or is it just cultural appropriation?
Ooh, controversial.
That's ruined that moment.
Chris's face just dropped.
Mario is the highest grossing video game franchise of all time.
I mean,
It's difficult.
It's got so many variations.
I suppose it
isn't
has. And it's been going for so long.
Yeah.
Because you had it on the Nintendo forever, haven't you?
Yeah.
And so I'm
Game Boy
thinking that
before that.
lots of the big games now, like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
because they're newer and they
Yeah.
do only appeal to gamers. Whereas I wonder some gamers maybe play
Yeah.
Mario will have at least done at one stage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
I think it's pretty big.
Yeah, let's go.
Should we go for true?
Yeah. The answer is true.
That is correct. It is the
Yay.
highest grossing video game franchise of all time, selling most copies and grossing the most amount in total.
Wow.
Oh.
So, yeah, very, very well done. Nintendo, yeah, it's been going quite a long time and lots of different variations. You've got Mario Kart, you've got Smash Bros, you've got...
Super Mario Galaxy.
I
Used
hate
to
Mario
love that
Brothers.
One. Oh, I love Mario Brothers.
No.
Bros.
Bros.
I played it the weekend actually when I was in Kent. It was great.
Oh, no. Not for me. I don't mind Mario Kart.
Are there any video games you actually like?
I like Mario Kart,
Just
but
Dance.
then it was really annoying when I
Oh,
went
Just
to...
Dance. Oh, I forgot about that.
It's a
You
great
love
game.
Just
I
Dance.
love Just Dance. I was on Mario Kart, but then it was ruined for me when I went to babysit and one of the 12-year-olds beat me.
Next question then. Are we ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Stephen Hawking coined the term meme.
Oh, please say this is true. I'd love this to be true. No, I reckon
Oh.
it's going to be someone like Steve Jobs.
And you should
it'll be
swap
someone...
the surname.
Yeah.
Meme.
What do you think it was originally used to denote?
Oh, so maybe it was used for
Good
something
point.
else, and so
Yeah.
he used it to mean that. I mean, what is... I think I used to call him a meme.
A meme. A meme.
A meme. Or a meme.
Meme.
A meme. What could a meme of... Like, what is, a meme is just a funny, short...
Meme
Picture sort of
is
thing, isn't
probably
it?
a shortened version of a longer...
I haven't got a clue. I have
I don't
not
know.
got a diddly clue.
I reckon
feel...
it's going to be someone sciencey, but I don't think it'll be Stephen Hawking.
Okay, I'll go with you. I feel a bit of a letdown here. I feel Tom did some really exciting descriptions, and when you've known the answers, you've been able to give this lovely thing, and all I can offer is not a clue. Let's just guess. So, you're saying false.
I think false.
Okay, false.
False is correct. It was coined by Richard Dawkins.
Oh.
Of course. Yeah.
So he was
Right.
writing about the idea of cultural evolution, and so it's kind of the term given to a kind of a piece of culture that evolves over time. So it was his version of the kind of cultural idea of selection, natural selection, that sort of thing.
I knew it was
Ah.
So
someone.
definitely not
like
Stephen. I kind of did try and do the name swap thing, but
Uh-huh.
like a sounding similar surname. So it was like
Yeah.
Dawkins, Hawkins.
Very clever.
And I
Yeah.
thought,
Very
not
good,
not
very
Steve
good.
Jobs, unfortunately.
Oh dear.
Let's go on to the next question. Here's a film-based one for you both.
Oh.
Oh.
The second highest grossing film industry after Hollywood is Bollywood.
No, because Bollywood's the highest grossing film.
Is it?
It's not Hollywood. I think it's
Really?
Bollywood.
Okay, I'm happy to go
I
with
think.
that.
Now, my only concern here is, can you just repeat the question?
The second highest grossing film industry in the world is Bollywood, behind Hollywood.
See, I think Bollywood is the biggest film industry,
Yeah.
not Hollywood. I think that is sort of a misnomer.
Okay.
But as far as highest grossing is concerned, I don't know. Because I would say that Hollywood films maybe have a wider... So do they gross more? But then we just don't hear much about Bollywood films. And
Yeah, but
They-
that's where we are.
exactly. And so they might just be absolutely huge. Like, think of the population
Yeah.
size of Asia.
Yeah.
That is so many people.
Yeah.
So I think we should go false.
Okay, I'm happy to go
Yeah?
with you. Yeah.
This might be the one question I've tried to explain and got it absolutely wrong. So I'm going to say
You might get it absolutely right.
false.
Okay, so that's correct, but
Mm-hmm.
Chris, your reasoning is incredibly incorrect.
Oh.
So Hollywood is in fact the highest grossing film industry in the world, so that section was correct.
Oh.
The incorrect section was Bollywood being the second highest
Oh.
grossing. Bollywood is not the second highest grossing, it is Nollywood, the Nigerian film
Oh.
industry.
Oh.
Something that you may not have even heard of before.
I thought Bollywood was pretty big though,
Oh,
isn't
it's
it?
pretty big, but it's not as big as Hollywood or Nollywood.
As a film company, like a film thing, is it? I'm
As,
certain I've
as,
heard
as,
that.
as an industry,
It's bigger.
as an industry in terms of its value, Bollywood is both behind Hollywood and Nollywood.
I'm certain there's something about Bollywood being bigger than something. I'm certain I've had that in a quiz before.
Well, I did my research, so
Well, no.
Oh,
It's
yeah, of course, yeah.
It's the highest.
Just
I
pull
think-
these facts out
I
of his
think
head.
you're wrong, but
The highest grossing bit. I think that's. But I don't think there's something else that it can be. But I can't think what else you judge a film on apart from it being high grossing. I haven't got a clue. Well, there you go. I did a load of absolute rubbish reasoning, but got to the right answer. So that's all that really matters, isn't it?
And I'm going to do my final question now. Apple was the first ever $1 trillion company.
This is business, not popular culture.
We're both stumped on this one.
What other big companies are there? Microsoft.
They're not as big as Apple.
But what is this, Tom? Like, is it going to be like is Tesla or something? He's obsessed with them and wants to get a mention. What are the big?
I don't know.
But Apple's just huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it? How big's Amazon?
I mean, I don't. It'd be later than Apple, I think. $1 trillion. I mean, when did Amazon start coming about?
Yeah, not that long. And Apple's been going for a while, but it's only really.
Long time.
I'll give you a little bit of context here. I believe that Apple became the highest grossing company in the world and has been ever since 2010.
And what's this question we've got to answer?
Was it the first?
Was it the
trillion?
first $1 trillion company?
So before 2010, someone else would have had to have become a $1 trillion company.
We've only got to answer true or false, Chris, and then Tom's going to tell us. So.
Yeah, we've got to show off.
We've got to know. Heinz. I don't know.
Heinz.
I just thought Chris's baked bean can.
Just for all listeners, I don't actually consume Heinz baked beans. Only Branston. Let's say false on the basis that I think this is too obvious to be true.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
False.
Incorrect. This is true.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's
rubbish.
disappointing.
I love how Chris took charge once there. It was like, yes, I've got the answer. I'm going to lay it down here. And I've got some solid reasoning. It's too obvious to be true. No, it's just obvious, unfortunately.
Chris looks in pain.
This is just this is undermining everything. All these pub quizzes I've done, and I just turn out not to be any good at them.
Oh, Chris.
This is the secret of why I want to present them and not participate in them.
Oh, Chris, you look so close. What was that noise?
I mean, I'm definitely cutting that because that was so loud.
And I was sitting right by the microphone as well.
It was like,
Look at it! Look at it! Sorry, Tom.
So, the final round, which is true or false questions on geography. So, here we go.
You
Question.
tried to make geography sound exciting.
I did.
It's-
There's a reason why I'm not answering these questions.
Before we start, shall I just get my colouring pencils?
Oh, that's probably good.
Because it might aid us with getting the answers.
If we had any geography listeners, we have just lost all geography listeners.
Oh dear. Right. Question 1. The Greek national anthem consists of 93 verses.
Oh Lord, this wasn't the type of geography I was expecting. 93 verses.
You can tell Amy never studied geography, can't you?
This is why I'm not answering these questions. I'm rubbish at geography.
This is music.
It's to do with a country.
So everything's to do with a country.
Oh, brilliant!
I was expecting like when you get glacial melting, what happens to sea rise? It's like, or what to what extent does coastal erosion do whatever? But no, how many verses are there in the Greek national anthem? Is it verses? 93 verses.
Yeah, 93 verses.
And I mean, she could have been something ridiculous. It could be like 92.
Yeah.
And she's gone 93.
I reckon that's what. And on statistics, I went a bit. Statistics failed us last
They
time.
did.
Didn't it?
Can I also just put out there, I did type in on Google like geography trivia. This is something that
You
came
mean
up.
you stole your questions?
I didn't think of them out of my head
Right.
because I wanted them to be difficult. And I know nothing about geography. Of this question I
93
did say.
verses. You'd just be exhausted before you even came to play the game of football. Wouldn't you? If you had to sing 93 verses.
Yeah, we
I
don't
assume
sing
they
all
cut
of
it
God's-
down.
sing
Yeah,
God's
Germany.
Queen.
Germany famously doesn't sing. I think the second.
No, 'cause I wasn't actually being serious. I was making a joke.
Oh.
I didn't actually think at the start of a football game, Greece was sitting there going, right guys, our national anthem's 93 verses long, so if you could just all sit down, we'll be here a while.
Fine. I think true.
Yes, go for it.
Because statistics
This is-
failed us last time.
This is
And
bonkers.
true.
It's false. It's actually
Chris.
more. No, it's actually more than that. How many do you think it is? Take a guess.
Oh, 930.
Not quite that many.
111.
More.
130.
More.
Are we just going to keep doing this until we get to it?
200.
No.
What is it then?
158.
Oh,
And it's not known whether anyone knows all of them off by heart.
wait.
158 verses.
I mean, it'd be funny if all of the verses were just, we're Greece. We're Greece. We're Greece. And then there's like one in the middle that's like, Greece is the best. We're Greece.
That is a long national
58
anthem.
verses. Yeah, it's not known whether anyone knows off by heart.
I mean, I do. Do you want a rendition?
Go on then.
Right, well, guys, we've just we've got out the rendition, but we've just come back, and it was absolutely incredible. Somehow I just knew them all.
I'm actually moved to tears. This is so emotional.
We started recording at 9 p.m. It's now 3 a.m. But we're ploughing on through. Thanks, Tom.
Anytime, guys.
Okay, next question. So, glaciers store between 70 and 80% of all the fresh water on the planet.
Got to be true.
I think it's true.
I think it's true.
Do you want to justify it? Just lots of water.
Although, hang on. Yes, because there isn't actually, I don't think, much fresh water. If you think about
Wait,
it,
was the question fresh water?
Yes.
Oh.
there isn't.
Yeah, no,
there
no,
isn't
yeah.
much fresh water.
Yeah, because that's the technicality, isn't it? Because
Obviously, there's
salt water.
yeah, there's loads of it, but there isn't much fresh water. So I'd say glaciers are going to have a
Yeah,
lot in them.
I'm with you on true.
So it might not be a lot, but
I-
percentage-wise, it is.
I mean, unless it's another one of these technicality ones. It's
Yes.
like, oh, actually, it's 90%. You're wrong.
Which Amy is probably looking at her face, done to all the questions. So let's go for true.
It is true.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, but obviously glaciers are melting, so we might have more fresh water after all. Yay.
Oh, we do.
Well-
It's just locked in glaciers.
Well, this is true.
Well, doesn't it depend? What if it?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Well, where are glaciers only on land? Because aren't they also like in the Arctic and stuff? Do you not count them as glaciers? I didn't do glaciers.
I don't really know.
I don't know
This
why you're looking at me.
This is where having a Nicola would come in helpful.
I'm just thinking if glaciers
Our
aren't
geographer flatmate from last year.
only on land, it could just melt into the seawater.
This is true.
But I don't know.
We'll never
Oh,
know.
you don't know, don't you? Know nothing.
I
Thanks.
should have probably looked into this.
Oh,
when I
no,
read
you
the
know
questions.
everything, don't you? Famously. So,
Apart from obviously British TV.
Okay, next question. Around 90% of the world's population lives in the northern hemisphere.
90% lives in the northern.
Northern hemisphere.
90% lives in the northern hemisphere.
Well, there isn't much in the southern hemisphere.
You tell me.
Where does it cut across? The equator goes midway through Africa.
Yep.
Well, is India above or below?
I think most of India is above it.
Most of India is above it. We've
I
got
think lots
Australia
of
is quite
China's
small.
above it.
Lots of China is above it.
I think you've got sort of
Almost, I would say all of China's above it, isn't it?
I think so. You've got sort of south of the Sahara, like so you've got sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
I think south of the sub-Saharan Africa. I think you've got
And
you've got
I'm
South
guessing
America.
Surely the equator goes through Ecuador.
Yes, that's why it's called Ecuador.
Yeah, exactly.
And it goes to Uganda
Okay,
in Africa.
and so that's midway down. In fact, almost 2/3 of the way down Africa. I would say true.
I think
It's
true.
probably all of the places that are below are probably quite sparsely
I
populated.
think so.
True.
It is true.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Well done. Again, I didn't really research as much as you two apparently, so there
That's
we
without
go.
getting extra information. There we go. We got it right. There we
I
go.
feel really bad. You two both provided it. I didn't know that was a requirement, so I'm just. So, on to the final question. Russia is so large it spans 8 different time zones.
I've been, and yes, because St. Petersburg is an hour ahead, and I was about 8 hours. I'm all about where I was, and there was much more of Russia still to go. So it's either yes or it's more. I'm starting now to talk myself into the idea that it's going to be more. I think it's more.
More than 8.
Because I was only 2/3 away across 2/3 across Russia, and I think I was 7 or 8 hours ahead in the
Well, because
summer.
it goes almost round to touching Alaska.
Should we say false? Because that will go all the way around to where the type of the date, because it goes right up to where the date line cuts, doesn't it? But time zones are redrawn; they're not in straight lines, are they? They're drawn along kind of political boundaries, aren't they? You following
Are
me?
they? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna
you have the Russian knowledge.
Well, this is going to be depressing if I get it wrong, but I'm pretty sure there'll be more.
Go for it.
False.
You are correct.
Well
Do you
done,
know how
Tom.
many it actually is?
11.
It is 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because it will go all the way across the international date line, but St. Petersburg is only an hour ahead of GMT, and obviously it doesn't go all the way over to GMT, and therefore it has to be 11.
There we go. Yeah. Well
If
done.
you understood that, listeners, brilliant. I'm
Well,
completely
it's
and utterly
'cause
bamboozled.
GMT to the international date line is 12 hours, right? And if it goes right up to the international date line, it has to go to the 12-hour period, but it can't go to GMT because Russia doesn't go over the UK. St. Petersburg is the area in Russia that's the most western, and therefore it has to be 11.
I now understand.
I get it.
Brilliant. Okay then, so that brings Mastermind the Flat to an end.
Dun, 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 dun.
I have a confession.
Oh dear.
I've never watched Mastermind before.
Never.
Never.
Ever.
Ever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know what the format is. I just kind of went along with all this. You told me what to do and I wrote the questions. And I love quizzes as well. I properly love quizzes.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
It's quite good, Mastermind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still going?
Yeah.
Who does it?
John Humphreys.
That was the joke at the beginning, wasn't it?
That was the joke.
I did Jeremy Paxman because he was the only quiz host I could think of off the top of my head.
What does he host?
University
Challenge. Yeah, I knew that.
Mm.
I don't know why I asked
So
that.
you should have done Bradley Walsh.
What is he? The Chase. I know the answer to that one. And
Thomas stopped
Alexander
doing the
Armstrong does Pointless.
Yeah.
quiz with Richard
Oh.
Osmond.
With Richard Osmond, of course.
But anyway,
Anyway, so
Obviously-
the quiz isn't just to
We
name
digressed.
quiz hosts.
We obviously
Christopher Heffernan in the future. Watch out, guys.
fingers crossed. We obviously started off with our specialist subjects.
Oh.
We did.
So the scores are in.
Can we do a drum roll?
And so obviously we had 15 questions. And
Each.
so in third place, I've got to say it's very close, with 9 questions correct, was Tom.
Hey!
That is sad.
Only just trumping Tom on 10 points was myself,
Hey!
which,
Yay, I'm happy.
thank you,
Not
Tom.
bitter at all.
It's like in the Oscars when someone else gets the award, but you know the camera is on you and you have to do the fake. Yay! They really deserved it. I'm fine. They were better.
Apart from there's no cameras,
Well, not here, no.
there's microphones.
I hope not.
Oh. We're hooked up with.
Always watching.
Anyway, this is going to be great fun for you to edit now, Tom. And so, in first place, with 13 of their 15 questions correct, was our history nerd, Amy.
Yay!
Woo! I'm actually going to clap that one because there was no way I was ever going to beat that performance.
I just really like history.
Wait, how many?
Don't ask me about geography, but
So she only got 2 wrong, which
I
was
got the Shakespeare question
one.
wrong, and not Chaucer.
Thomas Becket.
Thomas Becket.
Wow.
First and last question as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, bookended with incorrect answers with a
Yeah.
solid win in the middle.
So,
Solid run of 13.
there we go. That was Mastermind the Flat.
Yay!
Goodbye
Good night.
and farewell.
So long. Farewell.
Cut.
Boom, boom, boom. Thank you very much for listening.
And if you want to get in contact, you can find us on Facebook. We're Mind the Flat Podcast.
On Twitter, we're at mindtheflat_pod.
And Instagram at mindtheflat_podcast.
And if you want to respond to anything we've said in this episode or suggest a topic for another week, you can head to our Reddit, that's r/mindtheflat.
Or alternatively, you can drop us an email at mindtheflatpodcast@gmail.com.